Senate Armed Services Subcommittee on Seapower convenes this afternoon to examine Navy and Marine Corps aviation programs. This afternoon, our subcommittee welcomes three distinguished witnesses. Pardon me. Vice Admiral Paul A. Grossklag, Commander, Naval Air Systems Command; Lieutenant General John M. Davis, Deputy Commandant for Marine Corps Aviation; and Rear Admiral Michael C. Manazar, Director of Air Warfare for the Department of the Navy. Our subcommittee is grateful to these gentlemen for their presence today and decades of service to our nation. Over the course of the past year, a wide variety of witnesses from both inside and outside the department have testified before the Senate Armed Services Committee that our nation faces the most diverse, complex, and potentially dangerous threats to national security in recent history. There is a need to strengthen our military and ensure that our men and women in uniform have comprehensive training and world-class equipment. Instead, our reduced military budgets have damaged our military's force structures, modernization, and readiness amid years of sustained operations. The stakes are high during these challenging times. Extremists of the Islamic State in Iraq and Syria are increasingly spreading terror to North Africa, Europe, and beyond. Vladimir Putin's belligerence has dashed our hopes for cooperating to benefit the people of Russia and the United States, and instead he continues to test our resolve in Eastern Europe and Syria. And the People's Republic of China continues to expand and modernize its military and engage in destabilizing behavior in the Asia-Pacific region. Given this global environment, I hope our witnesses today will collaborate on the current readiness of our naval and marine aviation forces, the efforts to modernize our forces to face growing threats, and the vitality of our aviation industrial base. This afternoon, our subcommittee will examine 5 key areas related to the Navy and Marine Corps aviation programs. First, the subcommittee is concerned with the current state of readiness of our naval and marine aviation forces. Delays in the development of new aircraft, intense budgetary pressures, and years of high levels of ongoing operations have created a situation where the Navy and Marine Corps do not have enough ready basic aircraft for our aviators to fly the hours they need to remain qualified, proficient, and motivated. Our airframes are wearing out faster than anticipated, further stressing the fleet. Although improving, the throughput at our depots remains challenged to meet demands. General Davis, in the Marine Aviation Plan, you state, "I am concerned with our current readiness rates, both in equipment and personnel. We have seen a decrease in flight hours per month per aircrew and an uptick in our mishap rates," unquote. Perhaps we will expound on that testimony. The subcommittee shares your concerns and looks forward to hearing from you and Admiral Manazar on the path out of this critical situation for the Navy and Marine Corps. Secondly, the strike fighter shortfall. Our subcommittee would like to learn more about the gaps in the Navy fighter fleet. The Navy has estimated the shortfall at 2 to 3 squadrons of strike fighter aircraft. The CNO and Commandant both included strike fighters in their unfunded priority lists, ranking them as the number 1 and number 3 priorities for the Navy. I hope our witnesses today will be able to provide more details on the unfunded requirements for multi-role fighter aircraft. Third, Joint Strike Fighter operations. We would like to know more about the development and operations of the F-35B and F-35C Joint Strike Fighter. Last August, the Marines declared initial operation capability of the first F-35B squadron, the Green Knights of VMFA 121. The subcommittee looks forward to hearing an update on F-35 operations and preparations for the Green Knights move to Japan in 2017 and shipboard deployment in 2018. Fourth, we would like to learn more about the F-35 follow-on modernization program. The Joint Program Office is beginning the development of Block 4, the next increment of capabilities for the F-35. The department is expected to spend nearly $3 billion on this program over the next 6 years alone, and both the GAO and the Director of Test and Evaluation have recommended the program be managed as a separate major defense acquisition program. The subcommittee looks forward to hearing the witnesses' views on follow-on modernization and the recommendations of these two agencies. And then finally, munitions shortfall. Our subcommittee would like an update on the status of the Navy and Marine Corps air-launched munitions inventories. Years of budgetary neglect and high operational tempo have left munitions inventories depleted, some critically so. The subcommittee needs to understand where the department is taking risk, what is being done to mitigate that risk, and the ability of the industrial base to produce the required munitions. So we welcome our witnesses. We thank you for your service, and I'm delighted at this point to recognize my ranking member, Senator Hirono.